Going live.
Hey, AudioRoad listener, what is your profit per mile? How about your cost per mile? Or even your bottom line? Stop driving blind and know your numbers. Profit Gauges is absolutely simple bookkeeping specifically for owner-operators. Have instant access to business and tax reports that will help you increase your profits and keep your money in your pocket where it belongs. Sign up for Profit Gauges today and take advantage of our 30-day free trial. Know your numbers and master the journey. Visit our website at letstruck.com or call our Tribe Care Team at 855-800-FUEL. That's 855-800-3835.
Your money, your taxes, your truck, and your road to success in the trucking industry. This is Trucking Business and Beyond, the show that puts the money where it belongs, back in your pocket.
Good morning, you beautiful bunch of fuckers, and welcome to my world. I'm your host, Kevin Rutherford. It is Wednesday, December 4th. We are here live. It's time for Destination Health. Chelsea's here, call screening. Phone lines are open, so jump in and join us, 855-950-3835, or hit that call now button on your app. We'll get to your calls. Well, we'll get to them as soon as they start coming in. I don't have a whole lot today. Today is my last show this week. We are on the road this afternoon heading north. We're going to be waving at our Canadian neighbors across the line. We'll be up in Lyndon, Washington for the weekend. Get a chance to celebrate our granddaughter's first birthday. Looking forward to that. So we will get to your calls and questions as soon as they start coming in. One of the things I've been kind of just noticing, the weight loss drugs, Ozempic, Mounjaro, Wegovy, there's some new ones coming out. We have the compounding pharmacies that are providing these. You can get this stuff online. I mean, you don't even have to go to a doctor anymore. You just there's tons of websites. There's even one in trucking where there's a whole bunch of prescription medications that seem to be really easy to get online now. And these websites are popping up all over. Yeah, and they're all focused on the same drugs. I don't know if there's something about these drugs that are easier to prescribe online. I'm not really sure. But the two big websites that are doing this, Hims and Hers. Now, like I said, there's one actually targeted in the trucking industry being run by a driver. But it's hair loss is one of them. ED, erectile dysfunction is another. All of the psych meds like depression, anxiety, you can get those online pretty easy. And the big ones now, the really big sellers for these websites are the weight loss drugs. What I don't understand about these websites, why they don't really add any value other than giving you access to the medications themselves. So I'm not even sure why this one that targets the trucking industry exists. I mean, I don't see any value provided there. For me, I think the entire idea is horrible. The whole idea behind these websites is just the typical, we have a drug for everything. Just a really bad idea. A lot of articles about Ozempic, Wegovy, the weight loss drugs. I'll bet I at least scroll between 10 and 20 headlines a day, every single day, about these weight loss drugs. And you can tell almost all of them, if not all of them, are exactly what the big pharma companies want to see. They point out some of the problems, but then they downplay the problems and they really kind of exaggerate the benefits. One the other day, there's a report out now that not only are you losing fat when you're taking these drugs. You're losing a lot of muscle mass. Anytime you lose weight, it's hard not to lose some muscle mass. But if you're eating a good natural human diet high in protein and animal products, you're not going to have that problem. You won't see that issue. But with these weight loss drugs, there seems to be a lot of muscle loss, which is one more strike against them, especially as people get older. The last thing you want is muscle loss. It's one of the biggest problems seniors are already facing. So, between giving these weight loss drugs to young children, which is the standard of care now, or giving them to older adults across the board, these drugs are wrecking people's health, and it's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. Phones are starting to get busy, so I think I'm going to go to your calls, and we'll see what's on your mind. 855-950-3835 is the number to join us. Let's get started in Massachusetts today. Jay, welcome to the program.
Good morning, Kevin. I got a couple things for you quick.
Sure.
There's a YouTuber named Bruce Wilson. He's brought a Scania cab over into the United States. It's got a V8 YouTube channel. He's talking about it.
Okay.
Sorry.
I tried to do that. I guess it would have been mid 90s, maybe. One of the local Mac dealers when I was in Orlando brought a European cab over and had it in their lot. I tried everything to figure out how I could buy it and run it on the roads. Wasn't easy though. Never happened.
Yeah, he described it in his latest video, which I think he put up yesterday, is he's an agent for Scania and he's the only one that can drive it on the roads in the US, and it's here for 1 year.
Okay.
He's going to have it at the Mid-America Truck Show if you're going.
I will definitely go look at that. You know, the one thing that doesn't interest me at all, the idea of a V8. That does nothing for me at all.
Well, it has no VGT and it has no EGR. It just has DEF on it.
Oh, interesting. Now that I'd like to see.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. Huh. All right, I'd like
That's
to
why
check
I
that
thought
out.
you might be interested in it, because it does have a unique set of emissions, which might be why it's only here for temporary, 1 year, because it's not EPA certified.
Yeah, yeah. Well, part of the crazy thing about this is we bring vehicles over here from countries that have stricter standards than ours in many ways, and yet we can't run
Mhm.
those vehicles on our road because of some goofy regulation we have that's more strict than theirs. I talked about
Well,
this.
this thing has.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, you finished
Yeah,
your thought. I didn't want to
no,
interrupt you.
when I bought that smart car, it was a weird deal. It was built in Germany, imported to Canada, then modified in Canada to meet American standards. And later on, I just happened to meet somebody who worked at the company that modified it. I was in an RV park and they saw it and they came over and they said, "Hey, this is one of our cars. We modified all these." I got talking to them. 1,800 modifications.
Yeah.
That's what it
Oh
took to
yeah.
make that smart car legal in the United States. Now, some of them are goofy little, changes, but
Mm.
1,800 changes. Come on. And do we really think that somehow those 1,800 changes made this vehicle safer?
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that this thing can be brought into the U.S., because it is left-hand drive and it's got some pretty neat features in it, including it's got like a little hand controller, like a snowplow controller,
Yeah.
that you can air the suspension up and down, so you can give yourself extra ground clearance.
Oh, wow. Nice.
And it has airbag front suspension, so he actually lifted the whole thing up with the controller. He was
Yeah.
demonstrating it. You can lift it almost a foot in the air, and then you can drop it down. You can drop it down real low as well.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'd love to see that.
And the other thing I wanted to ask you about is my Google feed is blowing up with these hydrogen water bottles. What's your opinion on these? Have you heard of them?
No, but I'll have an opinion anyway, and my opinion is run the other way.
Okay, because they're kind of expensive, and they're throwing all these claims out that they do all these wonderful things, but at the end of the day, it's basically a water bottle that has bubbles in it.
Yeah, I bring everything back, and it doesn't mean that I wouldn't ever do things that hunter-gatherers didn't do. Obviously, I do. We take supplements today. They didn't have that. I think we need those.
Mhm.
But the supplements we're taking is just stuff we've identified that should be in our food and isn't there anymore. Minerals and things like
Right.
that because of the soil and all the other things. But these ideas that somehow these weird, you know, uh, hydrogen water, the one that's been around for decades, and I still see people pushing it, the alkaline waters. That's a total scam. I haven't looked at what these hydrogen water bottles are supposed to do, but what are they claiming? Like, what's the big benefit I'm supposed to get from this?
Well, I think it puts hydrogen into the water, and it's got the typical claims of increases energy, lowers blood pressure. It's basically a guy at the gym working out saying, "Yeah, this is the greatest thing ever." But
Y-
from what I've been doing some reading on, is it puts other things in there too, which includes chlorine, depending on how clean the water is you put in there.
Well, that's a good point, because
Because it's
the base water is probably more important than anything we can do to it. So if you're using garbage water to do this, then you're just going to get,
right.
garbage in, garbage
Because
out.
I guess it's just splitting a water molecule and adding the hydrogen into the water, but it doesn't filter anything. So if there's some kind of byproduct created from this, it's in there too.
So there's a couple practitioners that I follow that they almost always will write about this stuff. So I looked it up real quick. This is supposed to be some sort of antioxidant, um,
There it is. Yep.
action that we're talking about here, which we're seeing a lot of this antioxidant. I mean, we have for a long time now. We're going to see it more because what we're talking about here is the oxidative stress and the toxic stress from our polluted environment. So it is more important that we get more antioxidant type effects in our body. One of the best ones that people miss out on completely free is grounding. Grounding is one of our
Yes.
most powerful antioxidants. The new formulation of Cardio Miracle, NAC and glutathione. Glutathione, those are two of the additions on the newest version. Glutathione is the master antioxidant in our body. So there is a big push towards antioxidants. I'm actually getting prepared to maybe put out a regular detox protocol that I'm going to use once a quarter. But I'm not going to spend money on hydrogen water. It's just not going to happen.
Okay.
One, um, there is very, very limited research on this at all. Nothing I've been able to find that really tells me much. Um, it's safe. There's no danger to drinking this. I just don't think there's any real benefit either.
Okay. I got one last question for you, then I'll let you jump on another call. I just started on Cardio Miracle, probably not even 2 days worth right now, and I do have a question after reading some more about it.
Sure,
Does that help improve erectile dysfunction
it does.
because of increased
It-
blood flow?
yeah,
Okay. All right.
that's
I had
how all of the ED drugs work. They increase nitric
okay.
oxide in the body. Nitric oxide relaxes the arteries and veins. And when you relax them, then the blood flows easier through them, which that's why our blood pressure gets lowered, but our blood flow improves, which is how you fix ED.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for the call. All right.
And if Paul's listening, howdy.
There you go. All right. Let's go to Saskatchewan. Pat, welcome. Oh, let me hit the right button.
Good
There we
morning,
go.
Kevin.
Good morning.
Oh, good
What's
morning.
on your mind today?
A question about the Alruderite yogurt. I did a couple different batches there. I think I messed up. It got up to the sous vide. I had it on a timer, and it seemed to get away on me at 110. So I don't know if from what I've read, is that it destroys the Alruderite. Is that accurate, or should I just not? I'm still going to consume it, I think.
If it's edible, I would eat it. Here's what can happen. The temperature gets a little high, you're going to kill some bacteria off. If you go longer than the 36 hours, you actually start killing some bacteria off. So we don't want to exceed those things. But that doesn't mean, because we went 2 degrees too high, we wiped out all the bacteria. That's not going to happen. One of the things that would happen, if you killed all the bacteria, the yogurt wouldn't form. It would never thicken at all because it's the bacteria that causes that thickening to happen. So if you have bacteria, live active bacteria in there, you probably just don't have as much because you exceeded the temperature a little bit.
Yeah, okay. Well, I do notice that I'm not getting, I'm using a 36% cream, so it's quite thick no matter what way you look at it. So that's why I was wondering if it maybe, I don't know how long it went at 110.
Yeah, well, it won't matter. Just eat it. I mean,
Okay.
there's live bacteria in there. How much? I don't know. But when we make yogurt, we end up with about 20 times more bacteria than any commercial yogurt you can buy on the market. So I'm sure your yogurt still has way more bacteria than anything you can buy.
Is you think I can mix it with some of the, because I did another batch as well. Would it hurt to mix it all together?
No, mix it. That'll be fine.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, you'll be fine. That like I said, it's not that we're going to kill all the bacteria. It's not optimal for that strain of bacteria to be at 110, but it's only a couple degrees, not going to make a big difference. Let's go to West Virginia. Truman, welcome.
Hello.
What can I help you with today?
Yeah, Kevin, my name is Truman. I've been on keto for like 8 years. My sister says it's convenient keto. I live with a sugar junkie when I go home. And I was diagnosed with diverticulitis.
Okay.
And I've been on a liquid diet. I've been on a liquid diet here since Sunday. And it wants me to proceed to white rice and what else? White bread, white rice.
What are your symptoms?
Just abdomen, lower left abdomen pain, like aching pain. It's not breathtaking, but it was starting to affect my sleep at one point, laying down.
Okay. So the last thing you want to do is eat their diet. It will destroy your health. It's not going to do much for your diverticulitis, and it will destroy the rest of your health. So skip their diet. It's the worst thing you could do for this right now. When you say convenient keto, my guess is there's still room to clean up your diet.
Yes, yeah, there is.
That's the answer. This goes away. Goes away for almost everybody I've ever worked with. I would tell you, you can get in the coaching program and we could work on your digestion and we can fix this, but you can fix it yourself just cleaning up the diet more. But the last thing you want to do is what they're recommending. You'll never get rid of it then.
All right, got to cut out the ice cream. No more ice cream or beer on the weekends.
Beer's the big one. Yeah. If you have to choose, if there's one of those days where you say, I only have so much willpower, eat the ice cream, skip the beer. The beer is really, really hard on your gut for a lot of reasons. Alcohol's hard on our gut bacteria. Remember what beer's made from? Grains. It's so we have the grain issue that's hard on our gut. It's the beer is got to go.
They told me it could be I eat too much nuts because I consume a lot of nuts.
You could cut back on the nuts. Eating too many nuts does not cause diverticulitis. What it can do is sometimes the nuts small pieces will get into the pockets. That's what the diverticulitis is, pockets in your intestines. And nuts and seeds are known for getting wedged into those pockets and causing an infection. So it's not that it caused it, but if you have it, nuts or seeds could aggravate it and turn into an infection. I don't see that a lot when somebody's eating a good, clean diet, though.
So they want me to go for imaging, CAT scan this weekend. So you think I should just clean up my diet and it should take care of it? I don't need no...
There's two ways to approach this. Stick with them or go natural. You can't really straddle the fence. If we're not going to follow their diet, which I don't think you should, what's the point in the imaging anyway? What's it going to tell us?
All right, and something I already know.
Right. Yeah. If you stick with their
Gotcha.
advice, you'll have this the rest of your life. If you want to get rid of it, you've got to go the other way. You've got to go
Well,
cleaner. Go
yeah,
ahead.
I already know the benefits. I mean, had a non-alcoholic fatty liver, 1 year of whatever convenient keto cured that. No
Yeah.
more heartburn.
There you go.
I mean, the inflammation, my pain. I was born with MHT, medical hereditary ectosis, so I know pain, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
better than it's been in my whole life.
Excellent. Yeah. You're just going to have to go a little bit further to clear this one up. And like you said, you've seen the benefits. You know this works. This one just needs a little more attention. And like I said, you could do the coaching program. We could do some. This would be where we might do some liver flush, some digestive work, that kind of thing. Or you can just clean up your diet, and it may just fix itself.
All righty. And one last thing,
Sure.
that other network you used to be on, I haven't been with them since they got rid of you. So,
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
I agree with your politics 100%. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for the call.
Have a good day.
Keep me informed. If this doesn't clear up with just diet alone, let me know. It wouldn't take more than a month in the coaching program. I've got an announcement. Phone lines are quiet. I know we're following up on a holiday week, but phone lines are quiet. Jump in and join us. We've got room. Lines are open. 855-950-3835, or hit that call now button on your app. We have a new product in the store, one that I'm very excited about. If you listen to the show, you know I like dark chocolate. And I have not found any real downsides to dark chocolate. In fact, I thought at one time the oxalates might be an issue. And then when I really got down to looking at the chocolate I'm eating and how much I'm eating, I'm not even, I thought I had added a lot of chocolate back into my diet. I have recently. But when I looked at it, it wasn't even enough to keep me at that oxalate level that I want to be at, that like 150 to 200 milligrams a day. If the only oxalates I'm eating are dark chocolate, I'm only eating about half that, if that. So I don't see the oxalates as an issue. I've been kind of testing this idea. How much chocolate can I handle in my diet with no negative side effects, and how much honey? So we have got a new vendor in the store with the most amazing chocolate I've ever had. Now, my favorite used to be our mushroom chocolate, actually, but they've discontinued that, and we were never able to ship that in the summer anyway. Our new vendor, since we lost the mushroom chocolate, both Lisa and I started really scouring the market. I already had a head start because I eat a lot of dark chocolate, so I know my favorite brands. The one we partnered with, I'm very excited about. They're local here in Portland too. That was kind of nice for us to have a vendor right here in Portland. Creo chocolate. So we have a couple of different products in the store. My favorite this time of year, they make sipping chocolate. So it's just a canister of like loosely ground up chocolate, and their chocolate is just out of this world, by the way. And you just add hot water to this, or you can heat up cream or milk or any combination. I'm actually finding more and more that I just like this with hot water, and then I add a little honey. I do like the honey in there, but there's 3 flavors of this sipping chocolate. So usually about mid-afternoon, I'll make a sipping chocolate. This is actually one of the ways we can get more of the minerals back into our diet. Chocolate is dark chocolate, well raised. Dark chocolate is pretty high in a lot of the trace minerals. So I'm excited about that. We also have chocolate bars. So dark chocolate bars. I eat both. Most days this time of year when it's colder outside, I'll have one of the sipping chocolates, sometimes even two. I might have another one later on in the afternoon. And then I'll eat a couple of squares of chocolate after a meal too. So check out the Creo chocolate. We have lots of new vendors in the store. If you haven't been to our store in a while, you should head over there. Lots of great products. All right, calls are piling up on me now, so I should get back to them. Let's go to Lost Wages. Ron, welcome.
Hey, Kevin, how you doing today?
Good. What's on your mind?
Well, music and health. I heard the tail end on Monday. That call I gave you, that on-air piano lesson.
Yes.
I heard the end. Yeah. I just wondered if you ever tried that, or have you ever sat down at the piano just to see what I was talking about?
I have not. It's one of
Oh,
for me when if I'm going to try something new, I need to make sure I have plenty of time to really get into it pretty heavily. Otherwise, I get really frustrated. And I'll tell you one of the things that's frustrated me in the last year or so, my wing foiling. I just don't have time. And it's one of those things I really
yeah.
have to devote a lot of time to get good at it. And I know how much time I'm going to have to devote to music. So I just don't have the time right now.
Yeah. Well, um, because I just recently, anyway, I don't want to talk about that
Okay.
so much, but I'm gonna make a video that I want to send to you, about playing music. It's gonna be short,
Okay.
and I'm gonna send it to you and see what you can do with it, and then it's gonna be on the mandola.
Okay.
Okay. I'm into these the mandola, mandolin, mandocello. They're making great ones in China these days, and they're really reasonably priced for what you get.
Got
So,
it. Okay.
and then also, AmFest is coming up December 17th, 18th, and 19th in Phoenix. And AmFest it's the fourth year, and it's Turning Point's yearly get together.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, yeah, it's going to be really, really good this year because Donald Trump won the election. So everybody's really excited because if anybody did a lot of work to get Donald Trump elected, it
Oh,
was
yeah.
Charlie Kirk
Sure
and
was.
Turning Point. Oh yeah, and one more thing. I heard Steve Bannon on his show say that we can get these drug manufacturers kicked off TV, get their advertising off TV if we work at it.
We may see that
I
happen.
think that,
This is the first time I've
yeah,
ever
I
seen
know.
anybody in government
I
talk about it. I've got mixed feelings
I
about this.
know.
I am not for a lot of government restriction and regulation, and I'm much more for let it all be out there. We're all adults. We can all decide. I'm probably on board with this. I think we just need to ban pharmaceutical commercials. I've been kind of against it for years, saying "Just let them do it. People just need to be more educated." But what's happened? It's not the fact that the commercial itself is bad. It's why they're doing it. It has nothing to do with selling more
Yeah.
drugs. I really thought, well, they just want these people to go ask for this drug at their doctor, and that happens. Some doctors get annoyed with it. It's not that big of a deal. The bigger problem is the pharmaceutical companies have so much money and they spend so much money on advertising, they control the narrative now. Like these articles I'm
Right.
talking about with Ozempic, all of these weight loss drugs, you can tell that these writers are not writing good articles. They're writing what they're told to write. There is no
Oh,
journalism left
absolutely.
around
Hey,
this
hey,
kind of stuff, and that I
it,
think is what we need to stop.
but you know another thing is if like that the real Dr. Fauci book that RFK wrote, okay, he talks about how Fauci went to colleges and got them to do the research on these drugs for next to nothing. He gets the it's it's the worst scam ever.
It is.
They're not
And
interested.
hey, Ron,
Okay, it's the
I've got a
government.
guest. We're right at the bottom of the hour. I got to cut you loose, and we've got to get to our guest. So joining me now, Josh Hewlett. He's the wholesale and member services director over at Cardio Miracle. Josh, good morning.
Hello, sir. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, it's an honor. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, great to have you here. So I got to meet you not that long ago in Salt Lake City for an event that Cardio Miracle put on. I want to thank you guys for that. It was an awesome week. The hospitality was just incredible. All the planning that went into it. We were busy every minute of every day. I met a lot of great people. We got to eat a lot of great food, spend some time out at the family ranch. It was just and then we got to see the Tucker event, of course. It was just a great week all around.
Yes, sir. It was really special, and it was a great time, and it was really wonderful to meet you after doing business with you for a couple years.
Yeah, a couple years now. It's
So,
been a while.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We
So
love you guys. We're so grateful for the way that you guys are able to move the product and help the mission, and we're really excited to be a small part of it.
yeah, that for me, people actually kind of joke that I talk more people out of supplements than I ever talk into them. I usually tell people that a lot of times, let's just wait and see. Let's clean up the diet. The diet is really the key to all of this. And let's make sure we can clean up the diet and stick with it. Otherwise, I don't want to waste your money on a bunch of supplements. Cardio Miracle, though, is the easiest sell. That's the one I tell people, look, you should just be taking this every day, no matter what. Even if you decide you're not going to do the diet, you should probably keep taking this. There are some benefits even on a poor diet, but the real benefits come from cleaning up your diet and then adding this every day. It's pretty incredible. It's one of those that every time, whether I travel and forget to take some with me or what it might be, every time I go a couple days without it, I know it.
Yes. That's for sure. That's for sure. So, what my dad, John Hewlett, talks about a lot is he talks about how Cardio Miracle is a great mulligan, and it kind of helps those who aren't 100% committed to a diet or help superior lifestyle, and it helps them get there. With 58 whole fruits and vegetables in Cardio Miracle, we definitely encourage people to not rely on the mulligan, but if we have that diet in place as well, you're gonna capitalize on that 100%.
Yeah, the other thing, and the reason we were even looking for a product like this when we started looking was we had a lot of people who had cleaned up their diet, had stuck with it for years. And the one thing that hadn't completely normalized as far as looking at biomarkers and cholesterol numbers and blood sugar, and the one thing that we found was sticky with some people was blood pressure. Everything else had normalized well within ranges right where we wanted things. Blood pressure was still elevated. Not a ton, but enough that I thought there's something still going on here. We need to keep working on this. And it turned out that nitric oxide was the answer, the miracle molecule.
Yes, sir. Yep. You know, it's there's a book called No More Heart Disease, and it's by one of the scientists who won the Nobel Prize in Medicine in 1998, Dr. Louis Ignarro, and he talks about how supplementing with nitric oxide is essential to the 21st century diet. I mean, it's essential because that it's not only been called a great regulator. Like people ask me all the time with low blood pressure, can they take Cardio Miracle? And I tell everyone that we're not here to diagnose. We always tell people to consult their physician, and but then also we talk about how if they're monitoring themselves and they're smart about it, then their blood pressure will regulate to what their body needs instead of low or high or middle or normal or whatever that is for them. It's going to be different for every single body.
You know, that's interesting. We had the same thing happen when we first, really started helping people understand a ketogenic diet and getting into ketosis. It happened to me the first time. I actually lost more weight than I wanted to. And that was almost unheard of. I've had the same struggle over the last, 4 decades as everybody else. Every decade or every year, actually, my weight went up. My health went down, my weight went up. Finally, realized it was all about what we were putting in our pie hole every day. But when I started eating strict keto, I ended up about 10 pounds lighter than I wanted to. It was just like the weight just kept coming off. But then we found out that over time, your weight just normalizes. Your weight just ends up being what it should be, whatever that happens to be. We talk about the same thing with cholesterol. Eat the right foods, get the right nutrients, and your body will normalize things. And it's the same thing here. It's not going to drive your blood pressure too low. If it will just normalize your blood pressure over time.
Right, 100%. That's my biggest go-to is the great regulator is nitric oxide and the keto diet. Man, I could talk for hours about the keto diet.
We
I
do.
was a strongman. I was a strongman competitor, and I got up to almost 500 pounds. And once I hurt my back and I wasn't able to, lift cars or flip telephone poles anymore, I decided I needed to work on my on my heart, and my longevity. So I'm only 40 years old. So I decided to go hard with the keto diet and walking. So I was walking, I was taking Cardio Miracle, and I was intermittent fasting and keto diet.
That'll
So
do it. Yep, that'll do it.
yeah, I lost 180 pounds in 2 years. So
That's
it was
incredible.
awesome.
And
Yeah.
we talk about this all the time. It's the biggest part of our show here on Wednesdays. It's incredible to lose 180 pounds. I mean, really, that is just mind-boggling to me. But then the other thing we know is all the other benefits that comes from that. Just the joint pain, the brain fog, all those other things we all suffered through when our diet was that bad. And when you go keto, carnivore, these really clean diets, the benefits are just across the board.
Yeah. Totally. I heard something you were saying yesterday about the keto diet and carnivore, the differences, and I appreciated it because, when I was in the keto diet, when I first began, I was going for 0 carbs a day, and then I decided like to listen to my body, and
Right.
so I was full carnivore for about a month, and then I was like, I need some carbs. So
You
I
can
started
feel
doing
it.
10,
Yeah.
yeah, 10 to 50 grams of carbs a day, and that put me in a keto diet rather than carnivore. So yeah, man. I mean, sometimes it's just you got to listen to your body and do what
It,
your body wants,
and the same thing
and
happened
how
to
well your
me.
body performs.
Yeah. The same thing happened to me. And we know that really strict carnivore, here's the other thing people should understand. Carnivore is always keto. Keto's not
Yeah.
necessarily carnivore. There's the
Right.
difference there. If you are eating true carnivore, it has to be keto. That's the whole point. When you eat zero carbs, your body will start producing ketones. It has to. So
Right.
carnivore is keto. Keto is not necessarily carnivore. And what we found is the sicker somebody is, the more powerful strict carnivore can be. Um, Not everybody can stick with it though, and I'm one of those
Yeah.
that can't. I mean, the results when I go very strict carnivore are just odd. It's like trying to run a car on nitrous oxide. It runs really
Right.
good, but you can't do it forever. It's over the top. I end up after about 10 days of pure carnivore or close to it, I end up only sleeping about 3.5 to 4 hours a night. That's it. That's all I can get. Nothing. I've tried everything to fix that. Nothing seems to work. My energy levels go through the roof, but it's too much after a while. And I've got to add some
Sure.
carbs back in. And for me, I can honestly on most days go up to about 100 grams of carbs without any real side effects at all. If I do that day after day after day, I'll start to notice some things coming back. But 50 is a good place for me. Um, so um, some people thrive on pure carnivore, and like I said, the sicker you are, usually in the beginning, it's pretty powerful. I hate to even say this, but it fixes almost everything. And the reason it
Yeah.
does is because almost everything we deal with now, health wise, it's just metabolic health. It's just our metabolism is so screwed up from the standard American diet, um, that almost everything we face medically now, I would say over 90% of the things we deal with medically all come back to our diet. That's the good news, though. We don't have to live with all this stuff. That most of this just goes
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, I've tried it. I've put that theory to the test, man. That truth to the test. I work out. When I work out, it's like kind of insane. I go in the gym or I'll flip cars or I'll flip telephone poles or lift cars
Yeah,
and it's like I go so hard, but I've always come back to the same conclusion. You can't outwork a bad diet.
you,
You
you
just
just
can't,
can't.
you know?
Nope, you just can't. And you mentioned, the strongman competitions, and in powerlifting and even more so in like the strongman stuff, a lot of people do gain weight because there's an advantage to it. When you're trying
Yeah.
to lift that kind of crazy weights or do some of those things that they do, um, adding body fat helps. I used to power lift a little bit for about a year when I was in the military. I competed, and I was competing. When I was training, I was like 185, and I would try to cut enough weight right before a competition. Actually, once I got down to 145, but I wasn't losing weight
Wow.
right. I was starving myself. I was dehydrated. Um, I look back now and think of how much better I could have done had I known about eating this way.
Right. I was thinking back. You brought me back to my the scale in sixth grade when we were doing
Right.
when I was made fun of because I was 185 in sixth grade, and
Wow.
so
Yeah.
can you believe that I went all the way back.
Yeah. Well,
So
people think it's odd, but even, at 61, I can still tell you what I weighed every year from like fourth grade on because I wrestled. So it was all
oh
about
okay.
weight. I know exactly what I weighed every year because it was, I was getting down as low as I possibly could. I was doing it all wrong. I mean, I look now and I think, God, I could have been so much better had I known this stuff.
Sure. Well, what are your thoughts on intermittent fasting?
I think it is very powerful, and like most things, I think the reason why is because that's how we naturally evolved. For hundreds of thousands of years, we ate in that manner. There was not food available in the refrigerator in the pantry anytime we wanted it. You had to go work for food. It was what we spent most of our time doing as hunter-gatherers, was just trying to provide enough food to stay alive. So fasting was just a normal part of living because there wasn't food available all the time. So our body developed over hundreds of thousands of years eating intermittently like this. The idea of 3 meals a day is totally made up. There's no
Right.
science behind that. There's nothing natural about it. Then we went from, yeah, you should be eating 3 meals a day, and breakfast is the most important. Kellogg's came up with that. There's no science behind anybody saying breakfast is the most important meal of the day. In fact, it's the opposite. When you can skip breakfast and extend that fasting time, then we see benefits. There's no benefits to getting up and stuffing your face. None. But we still
Yes,
say that.
sir.
You'll still hear people say that. Oh, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Now we've gone beyond 3 meals a day. Now it's 3 meals a day and multiple snacks in between. And they promote this as though it's healthy. It's not healthy at all. One, you're just eating too much food. If you're eating 6 times a day, you're just eating too much food. And the other thing about eating is digestion is one of the most energy intensive things our body does. It's really hard on our body to digest food. And we've convinced everybody that you should be eating all day. Now we're digesting all day. That's a mess. There's nothing good about that at all. So intermittent fasting, I believe, just mimics how we've been eating for hundreds of thousands of years.
Yeah, I did that. That was one of my regimens in 2022 when I wanted to go full keto. I started intermittent fasting from 6 p.m. to 2 p.m. and I was doing it 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And you will never find more professionals on nutrition and what's healthy and what's not than when you start doing something like that. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, right. Right. Everybody tells you how dangerous it is, right? Oh my God, you got to eat.
Right, but
No, you don't.
yeah, but no one told me how dangerous it was for me to, shovel in a stuffed crust
Cheerios.
pizza at one
Right.
time,
Right. Yeah. You can sit down to the worst food ever that comes out of boxes and cans and bags, and nobody says a word. Sit down to nothing but a 22-ounce ribeye on your plate and watch them lose their mind.
Yeah.
Right?
Where are your veggies?
Right.
Yeah.
They lose their mind, and then let them know that this is the first food you've eaten in 48 hours, and then they'll ask you what's wrong. Nothing's wrong.
Yeah.
Nothing's wrong. We just shouldn't be shoving food in our face all the time. Hey, do you want to take a call about Cardio Miracle?
I'd love to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do that. We've got some calls, so we can take some calls while we're doing this. Jim in Delaware. Is anybody really in Delaware?
There's a lot of people on the highway right now,
All
so
right.
lower, slower Delaware. Yeah, we're going down and delivering to a shipbuilder.
Oh, nice.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, Kevin, thanks for the show. I love it. Listen every day. And 2 times you've had John Hewlett on 2 times, and 2 times ago you had a long interview with him. He mentioned right before he got off the phone, he said, please do not use cardio within 20 to 30 minutes of consuming protein. And I'm wondering why. I haven't heard anybody ask that question, or
I
no one
missed
picked up
that.
on that. Do you know why?
I didn't pick up on that, and I don't know why. Josh,
do.
any thoughts? Go ahead. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you so much for using Cardio Miracle, by the way. And the main reason it's not like it's not going to work. I mean, people say that sometimes they just have to get it in with a protein shake, which is fine. It's just going to take a little bit longer to generate and sustain that nitric oxide in your blood. And so the reason behind that with protein, and now we've had a recent study come out about caffeine, of separating it within 20 minutes to 30 minutes, is just because they break down in your gut in the same channels. And so that's really the main reason. And so, but when you start drinking Cardio Miracle, the reason why it's a powder and liquid is because then it generates nitric oxide within 0.3 of a second on your tongue, and then it sustains in your blood for 24 to 36 hours. And if you mix it with protein, you just basically, it will just sustain in your system probably for less than that. I mean, we haven't really gone into a deep diving test yet, but right now we're in the middle of a human clinical study that we're gonna be testing things like that and seeing what the results come back as. But that's just the general consensus, is that we suggest keeping it separate from protein or caffeine 20 to 30 minutes for that for the processing.
Okay.
Got it. And I'll throw this in. If this is all about protein shakes or adding this to protein shakes, throw the protein shakes away. Total garbage, and nobody needs to supplement protein. Protein is the easiest macro of all to get. Go eat another ribeye, eat a couple eggs. Protein is easy. Stop taking all the garbage protein powders.
I'm not guilty.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Does that give you some insight on that question, sir?
It did me.
Yeah, sure. That was helpful. So it's not hurting me, but it's just
Right.
Negating some of the benefits of the nitric oxide.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So
I'll tell you how I like to do the Cardio Miracle. I get a big, all the great tumblers out on the market today keep things cold forever. Get a big one. Get a 40 ounce. Put both servings in there and just sip it all day long. And yes, there might be some times where, you're going to eat. I tend to only eat one big meal a day anymore anyway. So I'm just kind of sipping cardio throughout the whole day.
Yeah. And some of the benefits,
yeah, that's just going to say that's what I do. Although my tumbler, the big one, won't fit in my cup holder, so I
you
use
need a new truck.
The smaller Yeti. But what another thing that John said on the last interview that he was on, he said that sometimes to get his second serving, I think he called it a double, where he puts the 2 scoops in 4 ounces. And I have to say, I really like that. It's thicker,
really?
the flavor is stronger, but that's a good way to get a serving in.
I haven't tried that.
Yeah, it's good.
All right.
It's good.
I'll give that a shot.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you can make it as potent or as watered down as you'd like. I personally, I'm the weightlifting power lifter guy, so I sometimes do a dry scoop and just do a gulp of water and get it in real quick. So that's
so I've been seeing this term lately, and people are using it for all kinds of things. I'm going to throw it out here, Josh. I would call that raw dogging Cardio Miracle.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we call it dry scooping. Yeah.
Dry scooping,
great.
raw dogging. Okay, got it. All right. All right, Jim, anything else?
Another question about cardio, if I could.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll want a third serving, and occasionally I might even be desiring a fourth. Can I overdo it? Is there too many servings that I should avoid?
I don't see anything in there that's going to cause an issue. Now, the one thing I would tell people, there's no benefit to a bunch of servings, except maybe in the beginning. I tell people on a lot of supplements, you can double up in the beginning, kind of front loading is what we call it, get as much in as possible right off the bat. Beyond that, there's no real benefit to more, unless you just like it. The benefit then is You like it and you're drinking it. There's nothing in there that's going to create a downside at all.
Right.
The greatest thing, the greatest thing about cardio to me, yeah, all the health benefits are good, but that's not even my favorite thing about it. The favorite thing is it's not just water or coffee.
You're right.
It's a healthy drink that has flavor.
Yeah.
And
it's refreshing.
It's healthy.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Yes.
There are days where I drink it just because I want to drink some more.
Yes.
Yes, sir. There's not a day that goes by that I don't drink 4 scoops of Cardio Miracle, because
there you go.
That, I mean, I'm 6'3", 280 pounds. I mean,
there's another.
I
right.
love to,
right.
Yeah, I love to work out. I love to be active, but I also work 12 to 15 to 18 hours a day, like you guys do. So not quite like, being a trucker. I'm not comparing myself to that, but I work hard and I go hard whenever I'm in the gym having my playtime, and it's there's nothing wrong with doing 4 scoops a day or whatever you want, because we're talking about whole fruits and vegetables here, and so you're just going to benefit from that. Yeah.
Can I ask one more question for your opinion?
Sure.
Please.
I've had for probably close to a year now a pretty big pain in my left. I call it a shoulder, but it's really the top of my arm in my muscles on next to this shoulder angle. And light balance doesn't help it. It's not a muscle cramp like that, but it can be a sharp pain in my muscle on this top of my left arm. Okay. Any ideas on that?
Nothing specific. How did you injure it at one point where just this pain just show up? So there was no injury. It's just you noticed it was getting sore at some point.
It actually went from my elbow to my shoulder. So my elbow was really painful for half a year, and then it went from my elbow to my shoulder.
And it sounds more like nerve pain than muscle pain.
So chiropractor, I just haven't gone, but I'm thinking maybe that's my next step.
Chiropractor can't hurt. You could also fill out a NutriQ, and we could take a look at a NutriQ and see if anything jumps out at us there.
Yeah, and with the lifelong shoulder pain myself, I'm a college football player. We had these physical therapy exercises where we would take our hand or our fingers and kind of walk up the wall and kind of stretch out that shoulder, and before we did a heavy lift or whatnot. Maybe that would help.
Yeah, can't hurt.
Well, thanks for all you guys do, and thanks for the store, Kevin. Appreciate the products.
You're welcome.
And keep it up.
All right. Thanks for your support. I appreciate it. Let's continue on with some calls. Let's go to Texas. Richard, welcome.
Hey, Kevin. Quick question, have you heard about Bill Gates and cow farts?
This new product that I think they're putting into feed that causes the cows not to fart so much. Yeah. Bad idea.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Bad idea. And we will start to maintain a list of any company that uses those products. And I would say stay far away from it.
Yep. So you mentioned fasting earlier. I got a question about that. I do intermittent fasting every now and then. Sometimes I'll do a 48 hours. I just came off of a 54-hour fast last week.
Nice.
And I've been kind of researching how to come off these extended fasts and everything. A lot of people say if you do it the wrong way, you could get some pain or gut issues or whatever. But I got to thinking about that if I'm back in the beginning of time and I'm out there trying to find my food and I can't find any food and I've been 3 or 4 days without having any food, if I actually come across something that I could kill and eat, I'm not going to go eat berries and
That's
try to
correct.
break my fast.
That's
And
correct.
I'm going to eat as much as I can get in right then. So I don't think that's going to cause an issue, is it?
Not at all, because you are exactly
Okay.
right. We didn't think about fasting then. We fasted because there was
Yeah.
nothing available to eat. We didn't think about,
Right.
oh, is there some optimal way of breaking my fast? As soon as we killed something, we would have gorged on it. Now,
Yeah.
if you gorge on something after a fast and you have digestive issues, well, then we should fix the digestive issues. Your body should be able to handle that
Right.
just fine. And I know I can. I can
Okay.
go, 24 or 48 hours on a fast, and I can eat whatever I want to break that fast. Doesn't bother me.
Okay. One other thing on oxalates. I've been strictly carnivore for, I think I called last week. I was 74 days. So I'm 80 something days now. So on oxalates, I didn't know about oxalates until after I heard you mention it several years ago, but I didn't think nothing
Right.
about it.
Right.
But I didn't really pay too much attention to it until I came into carnivore and started doing carnivore 80 something days ago. And I come across the lady that's real big about it. I can't remember her name. I think you've had her on the show before.
Yeah.
But
She wrote the book
Su-
Toxic Superfoods.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, her. So on oxalates, is that more of an issue for people that maybe done vegan or vegetarian or whatever? That
It's
because I've heard of horror stories of people eating too much spinach and ended up dying from it.
no.
And the reason why I'm asking is go ahead.
Well, finish your question.
Okay, so the reason why I'm asking is because my wife, when she does something, she is 100% all out in it.
Okay.
And when she heard about oxalate, she got so terrified about that. So she
Yeah.
don't want to do it. She don't want to drink any tea, any coffee, or anything. And I told her that it would probably be a good idea that if she does have an oxalate overload, that this lady, I can't remember her name,
Sally.
mentioned that if you have an oxalate overload, that it's probably be best to do a small amount, like maybe drink a cup of tea a day or whatever, just something to try to minimize the effects of oxalate dumping and everything. So we're going to try to do carnivore as at least for a year, strict carnivore. But when we come off of carnivore next year, and if we do decide to drink tea or coffee or eat any carbs or whatever, what should she be worried about? Which I don't think that she should be worried about anything, as long as she don't do an overload of any of the carbs or whatever that's got the oxalates in it.
So, if you find that you're having any weird symptoms from oxalate dumping, and it could be all kinds of weird stuff, the
Right.
amount, and we did a mini series with Sally K. Norton. That's who you're thinking of. So you can go
Yes,
back
that's her.
you can go back on the app. We did a 3-part mini series, and her recommendation, and it works. I've tried it. Is to eat about 150 to 200 milligrams of oxalate a day. And that will stop the dumping and allow your body to detox off oxalates over time, which is actually years. It takes us years to actually clear all of these. But you want a little
Right.
bit of oxalate in the diet. That's why I like the dark chocolate, because I love dark chocolate. And dark chocolate's got oxalates. So I eat dark chocolate every day now. That's one of the easy ways to get dark chocolate and a bunch of minerals in, and get that small amount of oxalate that's going to stop a lot of problems. So I tell people, pick your favorite food that has oxalates in it and eat an amount of that food every day that keeps you right there in that 150 to 200. Could be spinach, could be beets, could be dark chocolate. Tea has some. Tea doesn't have a lot. Dark chocolate doesn't have a lot. You probably eat both of those every day and be fine. But it really does help to have a
Okay.
little bit of oxalate in your diet.
Okay, so as far as vegetables and fruits with the oxalates in it, we was drinking Cardio Miracle. I ran out. I just hadn't ordered any, but she didn't want to take it anymore because of the vegetables and fruits
No,
that's in it.
that's
Would
another
that
good.
would that amount
That's another good
would
place
that
to get a
amount that's
little
in
bit.
okay.
So for me, with
So
2 servings
would
of
that
cardio,
amount that's in there, would that be okay?
yes. In fact, it's not
Okay,
quite enough. You can
not
still
enough.
add. That's
Okay.
why I still add some dark chocolate in, even though I'm drinking cardio every day.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I just
And
I got off the phone with my manufacturer before this call, and we were discussing the amount of oxalates that are in Cardio Miracle from the spinach and from the beets and whatnot.
right.
And he even said that it is very, very low. Excuse me, very, very low. And so Kevin's correct with his dark chocolate. I mean, that's awesome. But
Okay.
the oxalates is not going to be a problem at all. But to go to your intermittent fasting question, is that Cardio Miracle doesn't break your fast, and what it does is you'll take it while you're fasting. We've actually discovered that it actually takes your fat stores, takes the vitamin D from your fat storage and utilizes that. So when I tested with a glucose patch to see if my blood sugar raised or if anything else raised while I was taking Cardio Miracle during my 20-hour fast, I was only seeing that my vitamin D was raising and spiking, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay. So one quick comment about the caller a while ago about the shoulder pain. I had bad shoulder pain that started out in my elbow and went up into my shoulder. I went and done an MRI, and they discovered that it was just nerve pain that was causing the issue. Because I've tried chiropractics and a lot of stuff like that, but doing some stretching and stuff like that would probably help out better than a chiropractor, because if it's nerve, then that's the doctor I went to said that probably stretching would be a little bit more better on it than trying to aggravate it with chiropractic.
Well, I see that's because doctors don't like chiropractors, because everything that doctor just said is wrong. There's nothing wrong with stretching it, but a good chiropractor will help you with that. Good chiropractors do more than just align
Right.
the spine. They understand how those nerves are affecting everything in the body. So a good
Right.
chiropractor would be a great resource in this. But I had a feeling the way he was describing it that it was nerve pain, not muscle
Right.
pain. All right, Josh, I can't believe it. We blew through that half hour pretty quick. Thanks for joining us today. What do you want to leave us with?
I just want to thank you guys for the constant, the constant mission that you're on for truth and liberty. And I mean, it's amazing what you've been doing. We're so excited to be a small part of the, health and wellness of the trucking community, and anything else that we can do to help and support you guys. We're always willing to do that. So if anybody has any questions or comments or anything for me, you can email me at josh@cardiomiracle.com, and pretty straightforward, and
Yeah.
I'll answer any questions that you have. And I'm just really honored to have a chance to be on the show with you, Kevin.
Fantastic. We love having you guys as partners. Love the product, and I've got some ideas going forward on how we can expand this and do even more good. So we'll be talking about that.
Sounds amazing. Thanks for your time.
All right. Take care. All right. Phone lines are open. I'll hang out for another. Tell you what, I'm going to hang out for another hour, 40 some minutes, 50 minutes here. So we do need to get on the road today. We got about 5 hours of driving. We got to go through Seattle traffic. So let's get to some calls, and we'll knock out as many as we can in the next 50 minutes. Let's go to Virginia. Harvey, welcome.
How you doing? I got a test for low testosterone, and the base number I believe was 6, and my number was 3. So they gave me some gel to put on my shoulder every day, and it seems to made me better. But I was wondering how I might jumpstart my testicles again.
So tell me about your diet, because I'm not a big fan
It's
of these.
crap.
That cream that you're putting on is loaded with hormones, and I'm not a big fan of
Yeah.
messing with our hormones.
Well,
So tell me about your diet.
I hear you. It sucks.
Okay, well then there's
I'm
the answer.
getting back to
Here-
better now.
Here's 2 things that will jumpstart your testosterone production. Works every time. Eat lots of meat, fish, and eggs, and lift heavy stuff.
So, like, do squats with a cinder block, or
You can
just carry something around.
anything like that. You don't need a gym membership. The X3 bar makes it really convenient, really nice, but that's not necessary. We can find heavy stuff to lift, but that physical exertion of resistance, overcoming resistance. So I'm not a big fan of cardio type training where we go run for hours at a time. I think for a
Okay.
lot of people that can be hard on your body. Our workout, which is ideal for increasing testosterone levels, is only 10 minutes 3 or 4 times a week. That's all it takes.
I can do that.
Yeah, now the difference is that 10 minutes should be really intense. So when we use the X3 bar, and you can do this without an X3 bar. You could do it with body weight. You do it with body weight squats or push-ups, dips, things like that. It's not quite as effective, but the idea is it's only 10 minutes, but it's a really intense 10 minutes. I mean, each exercise you do, you're going to do it until you can't do any more repetitions at all. You work to
Oh
exhaustion,
man.
till we physically exhaust the muscle. Now, what that means, this is why the X3 bar makes this easier and better. I can do a lot of body weight squats, deep down, all the way down, all the way back up. I could do
Oh
those all
no.
day long, just about. I mean, I'm going to get tired, but I could do 30 or 40 of them, and we really would rather pick a weight that makes our muscle fail at about 15 repetitions. So now I'm going to use the X3 bar and the bands, and I'm going to use a band that when I do my squats with the X3 bar, I'm going to use a band that when I get to about 15, I just can't do one more. And when you can't do a full
Okay.
squat, then you actually start doing 3/4 squats and then half squats and then quarter until that muscle is just exhausted. Then you're done. That's it. That's the only leg exercise you're going to do that day. It's just squats. It's just one set, and it's one set to failure. Then you might do a chest press, one set to failure. So you just can't do one more no matter how hard you try. And there's 2 different workouts. So you do them a couple times each a week, and it's 10 minutes. It's just really intense. That will get your testosterone levels up.
Okay. I've
That
been
and
a
diet.
line haul driver for a couple of years, and I'm just soft as a marshmallow. So
Yeah,
I
that's
got to
what
start doing better.
that's what happens to us. So here's the thing: the answer is simple. The work is hard. I mean,
Yes.
the good news is you get to eat as many ribeyes and eggs as you want.
That I like.
There you go. There you go. Eat lots of animal products and lift heavy stuff. This will fix itself. And about a dozen other things you're dealing with are going to fix themselves too.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've done keto and all that for and felt good and all that, but just get away from it.
I know.
It's just
Yep.
easy to.
It is.
You work 12 hours, you go home. It's real easy to eat an ice cream cone.
That's exactly right. I get it. When you can kind of shift that around though. I honestly get more excited about a good rack of ribs, and I like ice cream a lot, but I get more excited about a good rack of ribs now than I do ice cream.
Well, I'm good for that too. And I eat a lot of polyface meat. So
Good.
I live here in Virginia, so
Oh, good.
I'm a polyface fan.
There you go.
Customers.
Yeah, tell Joel I said hi.
Yep. Hey, Joe.
Yeah, that's right.
I think I'm close to Stanton now. I don't even know where I am. I drive up and down 81 all day. So.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
Well, sir, I thank you for your time, and I'll get me something heavy and start with it. And
there you go.
Check in on is that exercise you talked about on the website?
The X3 bar is in our store, yes.
Okay, but the exercise. Just do the heavy weights till exhaustion.
That's it, really. You don't have to get too technical about this. Just lift something heavy till you can't lift it anymore.
Okay, I can do that.
We don't have to get too technical. You can go out and lift rocks.
Cinder blocks are easy to get hold of.
There you go. Cinder blocks work too.
All right. Thank you very much.
Good talking to you. Check in once in a while. Let me know how it's going. Let's go to Ohio. Herschel, welcome.
Hey, Kevin.
What's on your mind today?
Well, I have two things. Well, I got two things. One's really quick, but the first one is you scared the hell out of me this morning.
Why's that?
What, when you faded away from the previous old show that was playing, it was you and Joel talking, and then you hit the start of your intro for the live today.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The volume of the intro was about 73 times as loud and scared the living hell out of me.
Really?
I about jumped out of my truck. Oh.
Huh. Wonder what's going on with that. Huh.
I don't know. You must have had wide open on the
I must have.
WFO on the show start.
I must have. Well, that'll wake you up, get your attention.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, before I get to my real question, that new chocolate stuff you were talking about, it's a powder and you can drink it?
Yes.
Does it come anywhere near close to comparing to the old bulletproof chocolate? I love that stuff when you put butter in it. Oh my God, was it good? Have you ever tried that?
That was what got me started on drinking chocolate like that. You're right. The bulletproof stuff.
Yes.
Bulletproof was the first chocolate we used to have. And that was the same thing. They wouldn't ship it in the summertime. So then we had to wait for it to come back again. I can remember talking about bulletproof chocolate a lot. Then we found the mushroom chocolate, which was even better, but now that's gone. So here we are again. We went out and found what I consider to be about the best chocolate on the market. This stuff is clean. Taste is amazing. I really like this stuff.
So are you just putting butter only melted in it or using hot water and powder?
I've got multiple ways of making this. So some days it's hot water and butter. Some days it's hot water and mind fuel. Last night, even though, mind fuel is more about energy, a little bit of mind fuel before bed actually helps. So last night when I made some chocolate, I put probably a tablespoon of mind fuel in there. Some days it's just hot water and honey. Some days it's hot water, heavy cream, and honey. So there's all kinds of ways you can make it.
Interesting. Okay. Did you happen to see my post on the Healthy Tribe from yesterday?
I did not. I have. I am so far behind on so many things. I don't know how this happened. I'm behind on books. I'm behind on the CMC. I'm behind on the websites. And being behind, I decided I'm taking a lot of time off in December. I just need to recover a little bit. I need to take a break and then come back, and I'll hit it hard in January.
I came across a video from a guy, Werewolf Carnivore or something is the name of it. You can find it on the Healthy Tribe. And it's a 2-hour documentary all about carnivore, ketovore. Dr. Barry's on it. Anthony Chafee's on it.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen that one.
It's not the greatest production, they have some regular Joes on there, and they talk about fruit and veggie, and I kind of roll my eyes and ignore that part.
Right.
But it's actually pretty decent. You ought to watch it. It's kind of interesting.
Okay, I'll take a look at that.
The GLP-1 thing, not that I have an inkling of percentage of interest in ever using that garbage.
Right.
A buddy of mine, he was 360 pounds. He's on about, I think he told me 15 different medications. Part of them are SRIs or SSRIs. You know what that's for?
Yep.
So he got on that stuff, and yes, he has lost about 60 pounds. But everything that I keep seeing, they say that if you do the carnivore way, your body will do the very same thing that GLP-1 does to your body. How in the hell does that stuff, how does it even work? I mean, I don't get it.
So I almost think that they say this backwards. They say that, you know, GLP-1 drugs are mimicking in some ways what we do with a good diet. When we eat properly, so let's take a step back. Weight loss has nothing to do with calories. It's not calories in, calories out. We throw that away. That doesn't work. It's never worked. Weight loss is all about hormones. Hormones control our weight loss. They control our appetite. They control the time our food takes to digest through our stomach. Hormones play a huge role in this. GLP-1 drugs manipulate our hormones. Yeah, and then they say, yeah, and fasting mimics that. No, GLP-1 is mimicking what fasting does, not the other way around. The problem is with the GLP-1 drugs, you have all the toxic side effects. Yes, the mechanisms can be the same, and they are. They're similar. They're not identical, but the effects are similar. It is affecting hormones, which affects appetite. This is why when you try to tell somebody the only way to lose weight is calories in, calories out, they will eventually quit because the only way to do that is to be hungry all the time. And that nobody likes to be hungry. It's a miserable feeling. And after a while, we just give up on that. That's why these drugs work. They take away the hunger. And it's hormones that do that. We also know that eating, a good animal-based diet, keto or carnivore, also takes your hunger away, right? We talk about it all the time.
Right.
That's why fasting becomes so easy. Intermittent fasting especially becomes easy because 18 hours is easy to go without food when you eat this way. The GLP-1s drugs mimic some of those things, but they also come with a boatload of toxic side effects.
Well, this buddy of mine, I've known him since we were 8 or 10 years old. God love him. He means well. He has had a gastric, and I forget which one. I think it was the one where they put the little band around.
Yeah.
The lap band. I think that's the one he got. He had that one. He dropped poundage. He went back up to the same poundage. Now he's on GLP-1. He says he drinks water, but he has to put Crystal Light in it. I said, Toddler, you got to quit that.
Yeah.
And it's just sad. It's just so sad what the medical community is doing to our population. It's awful.
Yeah, they make a big deal about the fact that when you lose weight with these GLP-1 drugs, you get the advantages of losing weight, which is true. You do. If you can drop 80 pounds, it's a whole lot easier on your joints. You're not going to hurt as much as you used to hurt. There are you see some of the same benefits that are generated when we lose a lot of weight. But there are horrendous side effects to these things. I think people would be better off staying obese.
Wow, that's sad.
Yeah, I
That
would.
is sad.
I just don't think that the few benefits you get are worth all the toxic side effects. One,
Wow.
by the way, which is
All
death.
right, Kev, I'll let. Go ahead.
That death is one of the side effects, and it's happened. There's lawsuits all over because people have died from these drugs.
Oh yeah, but you can get them online with no script, no nothing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there is a prescription, believe it or not.
You're right. If you sit down to a,
Go ahead.
you're right. If you sit down to a tomahawk ribeye that's 32 ounces, people will lose it.
Yep.
You are right. That is so crazy.
Yeah, they'll have 911 ready on their phone because they think you're going to have a heart attack before you finish it.
Right.
Yeah, but
Wow.
go ahead and take the
All right,
toxic
Kev, I'll let
drugs.
you go so you can get somebody else
All right.
traveling.
All right. Good stuff. Let's go to Ontario. Lucky, welcome.
Oh. Hey, Kevin, how you doing?
Good. What's on your mind today?
Good. I'm called you about 6-7 months ago regarding my daughter.
I
She went
remember.
through when she got sick.
Yeah, I remember.
Well, she's doing good, and everything's looking better. She still hears the voices here and there, but she's doing a lot better. And I just wanted to thank you for giving me those 2-3 months. Just give me those free coaching seminars there, the health coach, and everything is working out.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and
I love to hear that.
yeah, no, she's working on her diet. She started going to the gym with me, and now she's going back to school.
Fantastic.
And everything's looking up and up.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, I love that. Thank you for giving me an update.
No, it's been, I think she had a relapse. She went 5 months without any issues, and then she just, I know we're not out of the woods. We've got to keep on monitoring and keep an eye on it.
Right.
Yeah. But there was a time where we couldn't go a week without it.
Right. So this is a huge improvement. So have you been able to, when she has a relapse, have you been able to identify maybe a trigger, maybe something that caused it?
I just wish she listened to me. I told her to keep a food journal, and I told her let's try to pinpoint what went wrong that day.
The other
Did you
thing
eat something or?
Yeah, the other thing to keep in mind, certainly food first. So keeping a food journal, if you're going to have if she continues to have a setback here and then, a food journal might help us identify a food that triggers it. The other thing I would watch for is stress. If she had something, stressful happen, that could be a trigger.
What happened last time was she just got all her friends were going to college and stuff, and she still hasn't graduated, so she kind of felt left behind.
Got overwhelmed.
So that triggered a little bit of stress.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I would watch for.
Yeah, so that triggered it, and just my niece back on the West Coast is going to a really reputable college, and she's doing really good as well. So that kind of triggered a little bit. But other than that, I said, this is your story, right? Everybody has their own path in life. This is your path. You had to go through this to get to the other side. Once you get to the other side, where we are almost, you're going to look back and you're going to see this only made me stronger in the long run.
That's right.
So that's what I keep telling her. And other than that, for me personally, I'm working night shifts now because money got really tight, just working line haul.
Yeah.
It's just sleep it's tough.
Boy, and Lucky, I'll tell you this, that we have not found a fix for this. Team driving is a struggle. Team drivers have a tough time with sleep and stress. And
not team.
I know.
I do night shifts.
Right. I was just about to say, team drivers, we deal with this a lot, but off shift driving, we deal with it a lot. And I've talked about this. There was a time where I was switching back and forth. I would do day dispatch, morning dispatch one day, and then flip over and do a night dispatch, and then back to days, and then nights for a couple nights. It was making me sick. That's even worse. But there is no adapting to working the night shift. You might get a little better at it. You might feel a little better, but it honestly, it's not healthy for us.
Yeah, I'm not going to do this long term. The only reason I'm doing it is if she needs me during the day, I'm one phone call away.
Perfect. And I'm all for that.
And I keep asking.
Right. I'm all for that because
I can keep doing that.
I love the fact that you two are doing this together and you're going to the gym together and you've gone to nights so you can help her during the day. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's just we moved back into the house that I built on an acre. It's in the country.
I remember that was a big issue.
Do you want to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the only reason I asked her, I go, look, we just got to set the house up and put it on the market. We need to get rid of that house,
Right.
sell it, because it's not for us, it's for somebody else. There's nothing wrong with the house. It just didn't work
Right.
for us. It was supposed
Right.
to be our dream house. We put all our money into it, and you got sick. It's not your fault. We as a family had to go through this. This is our story,
Yeah.
right? And this is how it was written. So, but I felt like we just had to move in. But I didn't put pressure on her. I told her, if you don't want to do it, it's all good. We'll just
Yeah.
put it on the market as is. She's like,
Perfect.
no, I want to go back there.
That's awesome.
But she came back, and then we set that. It's just put it on the market yesterday.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's one showing. Obviously, it is what it is.
Right.
The market
Right.
is what it is, right? And luxury properties aren't selling; they take a little while. But I feel like once we sell this house, we got some money, flexibility financially. I still got my house on the West Coast
Yeah.
that's rented in BC. So I'm like, my buddy told me, he goes, you could be in a lot worse situation. You're still good. And I'm
Oh,
like, yeah, it's just,
absolutely.
that's just,
I want to
yeah.
congratulate you for how well you've handled this and how seriously you took it, committed to it, and I'm glad you're seeing results.
Like the only stressful thing for me right now is just finances are screwed. We're barely getting by because,
Yeah.
when we
Yeah.
booked the house, the interest rates are 2%. And by the time COVID hit, we ended up in 5%. And instead of having a $3,800
Right.
payment, we got a $6,000 payment.
Yeah.
And that's hard
Yeah.
to do.
That is
I'm
tough.
not even doing long haul anymore.
Yeah. That
Right?
is tough.
So like I'm doing night shifts now, and then my wife's working, and then even my daughter right now, since we moved into the house, she's like, I'm starting to hear the voices again. It's starting to get bad again.
Oh boy.
But
Okay.
but I feel but what she's telling me is I can manage it now.
Good.
I wasn't used
Good.
to it when it first happened here.
Right.
Now I can manage it.
Well, you know what's
And
awesome about that is she now feels like she has some control over this.
yes, exactly. She
Right.
has control over
That's
it.
big.
And
Yeah.
and she's not going to do anything stupid to harm herself anymore.
Yeah. Excellent.
And so what we're basically where I'm at, I don't know, like two things basically. Like once we sell the house, like, I'm just like, even if we put what we put in, we get that money back, I'm happy.
Right.
Right. And it's just what to do with that money after. Like, I got 4 daughters, right? Maybe put 10 grand in an index fund, or like, I want to have, like, once I sell the house, I want to have, is there any way you can, like, have a private conversation with me just to go over my finances?
I will.
Because I feel like me and my wife have been just winging it.
Yeah,
All we've been doing is just we work hard, and we'll fix. Our thought process is we'll fix this problem. Work harder. I feel like now we're like in our 40s. We got to work smarter and put our money in the right spot. So I'm set up, and the kids are set up.
When this thing sells, you let me know, and we'll get a plan together for you.
Yeah, and like obviously, I'm not going to tell you numbers over the limit, but it's nothing crazy. But I want to start somewhere, like, you know what I mean?
Oh, perfect.
And like I'm not planning, because I was hoping to pull out $500,600K out of this place, and that's not going to happen now, right?
Right.
But the market came down, and even if we get half of that,
I think you'll do better.
You know what I
than
mean?
That. Yeah, I think you'll do better than that. And when you do, call me back. We'll get you all set up.
And another thing is, I don't know what I want to do next in life here. Like, I've been looking at trying to make money online. It's not my thing.
Okay.
Everybody's trying to sell you a program. I guess that's what I feel like everybody's trying to do.
Yeah, they are.
And AI technology, I'm not familiar with that. Like driving, I know. And then I feel like I'm a people person. Like even like dispatching, brokering. My cousin told me you'll be a good salesman. Just like I'm all over the place because I really don't know what to. But I can't go back on the road, and I don't want to go back on the road after going all through this.
I can help you with that too.
Yeah, it's just like I'm not learning to like, my goal was to build a base for my family because I grew up with nothing. I feel like I built that.
Right.
Now money's not my motivation. My motivation is security and a good night's sleep and setting my kids up.
There you go. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
once I do sell the house, I will call you, and then we'll take it from there, and then you can maybe. And I want to thank you. You gave me those 2-3 months free, and then when I get a little bit better, I would love to sponsor somebody if anybody needs help.
Absolutely. We
for
will.
3 to 4, 6 months or whatever works, right?
I appreciate
it. Goes a long way. It's not much, man. It's not much. It goes a long way, though. Sometimes people just need somebody to talk to. I was going to order one more thing. I was going to order the Cardio Miracle.
Yeah.
my thing is, we live in the country here, and sometimes when I come to this big ass house, right,
Yeah.
on an acre, I feel trapped sometimes because I feel like financially this thing's trapping us. So I feel congested, and my heart starts beating really fast.
Okay.
What I usually do, I just go for a walk.
Good.
But
That's good.
I've gotten better. But is there anything I can order from the store, or I just keep? Cause the thing, my main thing is I don't want to take no meds. Through this whole
Yeah.
ordeal, I was like, I'm not taking any meds. Cold showers, walks, gym, whatever I got to do, right?
Stick with
And
that.
then if I start
And
panicking, like
yeah, stick with that. If I were going to recommend any supplement at all, it would be Cardio Miracle every day. There really isn't anything else that's going to help a lot. You're on the right track with the walking and the mindfulness and that kind of thing.
yeah. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, okay, we'll keep it. Because my whole thing, Kevin, was like, I'm not gonna get stuck on meds. I'm gonna do
Perfect.
this my way, and if it gets to a point where my heart starts racing and I can't control it,
You know,
and
the
then I'll go to the
do
hospital.
you drink coffee?
Oh yeah, love coffee.
Okay. Caffeinated or decaf?
I got Dr. Wilson's, man. The
Okay.
cardio.
Okay,
The,
good. The
yeah,
other one
that.
you could try. Um,
Mhm.
the decaf coffee we have in the store, it's labeled Calm because it's got the
Mhm.
mushroom adaptogens in it that really could help this. So what you might want to
Mhm.
do is if you normally drink caffeinated coffee, maybe do a half calf, half non-calf, or maybe do 1 cup caffeinated and then another decaf. You can even do, the calm coffee later in the day and not worry about it. You might
I
want to
could
try
try
that.
that, but
Yeah.
the Dr. Wilson stuff I love it.
Oh,
Like,
good.
my wife
Good.
loves it. My daughter drinks it as well,
Excellent.
and that's it. Is there such thing not to drink coffee on an empty stomach, or is it just a myth?
Well, it depends on your stomach. And the reason that coffee on an empty stomach might bother somebody is coffee's pretty acidic.
Mhm.
It's why a lot of people you've seen cold brew. Cold brew became really popular. Cold brew
Yes. Yes.
is very non-acidic. I don't even like
Mhm.
drinking cold brew. I've tried it. I miss the acid. It's too smooth for me. There's not enough of a bite there. But it's
Mhm. Yeah.
the acidity that bothers some people's stomach. I can drink coffee all day long on an empty stomach. Doesn't bother me.
Mhm. Yeah. No, my thing, part of my language when I like Monday morning is the time when I can go to the gym in the morning. I'll
Yeah,
get up at 4. Like that's the only time because then I get my Saturday and Sunday off. I can't wake up. I get in at 5 6 a.m. in the morning on from work the next day in the other days, and then I'll sit there and I'll have my coffee and then I'll just have a pep talk. And coffee's my thing. I don't take no protein shakes, nothing. I go
perfect.
in fasted, have my cup of coffee,
There you
work
go.
out, come home, and then I try to stay fasted till the evening. Then I have my meal, and then I go to work.
Perfect.
And everything's looking really good. But after I just direction financially because
Yeah,
I told my wife I'm like we're not going to wing it. We're not financial planners. We're
perfect.
hard workers. We can't just say God's got us and we're going to work harder and fix
Right.
the problem. Our body's not physically going to keep up like that, right? So we have to be smarter. So I will call you when I get to that point, hopefully soon.
Excellent.
But
All right.
we'll keep giving her and then going and then take care. Eh? Nice
Yep.
talking to you again.
All right. I'll look forward to it. Thanks for the feedback. I love that. Let's go to Pennsylvania. Sarah and Vic, welcome.
Hey, good day, Kevin.
What's on your mind today?
I wanted to share a book that I recently listened to. A friend of ours had recently told us that he had Crohn's disease, and I was trying to find a really good book to suggest to him. So I listened to a bunch of different books, and I found one that was well, it describes, like, for anybody who hasn't heard our show or they're new to the show, it has a really good breakdown description of the whole digestion process, like you used to go through it. And he talks about all of the foods that we talk about: grass-fed meats, wild-caught fish, when you eat vegetables, organic, and even fermented, and bone broth. And one of the co-authors, Jonathan Rubin, had Crohn's disease himself. It came about in a very severe way. And after that, he traveled like all over the world, visiting different doctors and trying different things, and eventually found, you know, the diet that we share.
Okay.
He has a protocol in there to help somebody who has one of these more severe digestive diseases do a clean out and then step in. You know, he's got like 3 stages, step into it. But I think for anyone who is like has never heard the show before, or they're just starting to listen, it's a really good primer on the digestive system.
Okay.
It's called Restoring Your Digestive Health, a proven plan to conquer Crohn's, colitis, and digestive diseases by Joseph Brasco and Jonathan Rubin.
Okay. We'll check that one out.
I will throw that in the Healthy Tribe.
Perfect.
And I just wanted to also add, with the lift heavy things, if you pick up a snow shovel, pretty soon, you know, throw that on the back of your cab with your broom, pretty soon we'll have some free weights falling from the sky.
That's right. That's right. Good stuff.
That's all I got. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for the call. Let's go to California. Jeremy, welcome.
Hi, Kevin. Good to talk to you.
What's on your mind today?
Hey, Cammie and I were talking about eye health, and you know, I don't wear we don't wear glasses, but she's been wearing them more often, like if she reads and or looks at a device. Where I stopped wearing sunglasses a couple of years ago and stopped all, you know, things on my eyes, and we were and my thought was, you know, we want our, you know, like you were talking about muscles, you know, we want resistance to help them help growth, you know, and help them stay strong, you know, versus not, you know. But then we looked it up where I guess our eye is actually an organ, and I guess the muscles are just help it move around, right?
Right. Correct. Well, and the muscles also change the shape of the lens. And that's what one of the reasons we need glasses over time is the muscles weaken and then the lens won't focus properly.
Okay, so my thought was, like I try to read, I read without glasses, and I feel like I'm helping my eyes, but sometimes I'm noticing I could probably not strain or squint a little. And my thought was, you know, I'm not doing any damage, you know, and we were having a conversation that, you know, she says, don't cause your eye strain, because that actually might make it worse. What's your thoughts?
I believe that's absolutely true. I believe that's my biggest problem. So just like if we tried lifting weights, could you guys both lift a lot of weights, you do a lot of resistance training, you could overdo that, right?
Right.
What if you just kept lifting the weight over and over and over and never gave the muscle time to rebuild? Your muscle would deteriorate. It wouldn't get stronger. It would get weaker. That's what happens to our eyes. We're using a muscle, but if we overuse that muscle, I think it does damage to it. And let's think about this. How natural is it to read printed words that are really tiny? It's not natural at all.
Well, everything's getting smaller.
Well,
yeah.
We would have never used our eyes like this as hunter-gatherers, ever. So it's no wonder we all end up needing glasses and we have eye problems. We abuse our eyes, and it gets worse all the time. I spend more time now looking at devices than I ever have in my life, and reading. It's what I do all day long. And now the good news is about 2 years ago, my eyes stopped getting worse. Because for a long time there, for about a decade, every year, my eyes got a little worse. My prescription got stronger. My distance vision got worse. The the deterioration has now stopped, and I actually think I'm seeing some slight improvement.
Wow. Well, okay. And do you attribute that to actually wearing glasses more often?
No,
You know,
no,
to
it's the
give the.
opposite. I
Oh,
try to
okay.
take them off now when if I absolutely
Oh,
don't need them, I take them off and I don't wear them. And
okay.
I try to limit my time reading. And when I read on my Kindle, I actually do just make the text much bigger. So I don't, I could sometimes do it without glasses, but it's just been recently that I've noticed that I can watch TV with my glasses off and things are clearer than they were. And I haven't changed my prescription in over 2 years.
Okay. So would like if I look at a device too long, yeah, I feel like, man, my eyes are weak. I go to look
Oh,
up
yeah.
and yeah, I've got
They're just
now.
fatigued.
Yeah, I've got
It'd be like doing
yeah.
push-ups over and over and over and over, and pretty soon your muscles just going to fatigue.
That's what it is then. Yeah, because it's like I don't see as good. So you're saying
Correct.
I should probably put on the readers um, more often if I'm reading a book.
Well, I I think it's the opposite. I think if you forced yourself to read without them, that may be better as long as you don't do it too much. You just got to find that balance in there. My problem
Oh,
is
okay.
I do so much reading that my eyes will never get a break. So I mean, I have to wear readers, and they're not going to get a break. But if I'm not reading now, I just try to take my glasses off and not use them. And I try to spend as much
Yeah,
time as
and
I can not using them and looking out into the distance more. But it really is. Uh, People have told me there are exercises you can do that will actually improve this. I don't doubt it. I bet there are. I just don't have time to do them, or I haven't made the time. It hasn't been a priority. But I believe that it is a muscle issue, and just like we manage
okay.
our muscles by, you know, doing an intensive workout and then giving our muscles a long break and then doing an intensive workout again. But think about this on our muscles like our chest. We're going to do a chest press today. We're going to do it to failure. And what does that take us? A minute or two at most? We do it to
Yeah.
failure. And then I tell people, you need to make sure you give that muscle at least 48
Wait a
hours
couple
of
days.
rest,
Yeah.
and probably 72 hours is even better. Well, think about what that would mean for our eyes. We would need to
Yeah.
do these eye
It's
exercises and then rest our eyes for
shut them.
48 hours. Well, we can't.
Right.
I'm reading all day. I've got to stare at a screen when I do the show. So it's just, again, it comes down to how do we manage these things with our lifestyle today? Our lifestyle is just not good for us.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, especially reading all these ingredients, they make everything smaller, don't they?
Well, it seems like
Tiny.
it. Yeah. Yeah, it seems like, and that's just not
Well,
natural. We would not need to try to read things like that. That's not a natural thing.
right. Okay. Well, speaking of ingredients, I update on jerky. well, a jerky recipe, a marinade. We have a pepper guy now in Texas,
Okay.
and so he grows all these. You know, he grows the hot ones like scorpion and all these crazy
Right.
demon pepper type things. You know,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, and but he's also got. So we try to get some of his more milder ones that have a little fruity flavors and some flavor and he has them. I can't remember all the crazy names of them, but so we've been doing the honey with it, and then so I've got the honey. I mean the peppers after they've fermented, in the honey, store them in vinegar, a lot of them, and then so what I did was take mango in a blender and Also, or you can get mango, a clean mango from like, even Costco, sells like a clean mango jug or something. But or it was just mango and puree juice, and then blend that up with the peppers.
Okay.
And yeah, and I did add a little cocoa aminos, and I was a little worried it wouldn't be sweet enough, so I added a little brown sugar, but I don't think I need to next time.
Yeah. No, sounds
But
good.
came out great. Came out really great.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right.
So
good stuff. All right, we are going to take the last call of the day, and then we're going to wrap this up. Let's go to Tennessee. Tom, you get the final word today. What's on your mind?
I bought this the Mind Fuel and the stuff for the dog the other day in the store.
Okay.
And I thought we were supposed to get an extra one when we bought it, but maybe not anymore.
We did have a special when you bought 5, you got 6.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe it'll just be 6 when it comes. I don't know. But anyway, I was wondering about the Cardio Miracle stuff. What is the? I've got high blood pressure apparently, so I'm wondering if either one of those will be bad for high blood pressure. Kind of late to ask on the Mind Fuel, but
so the Mind Fuel has no impact on blood pressure either way. No direct correlation there at all. Certainly not bad for anybody with blood pressure problems, not at all. The cardio, on the other hand, it was designed to lower blood pressure. I mean, that is the major point of Cardio Miracle. It is for cardiovascular and heart health, and it does it by increasing nitric oxide in the body. That's the mechanism that's happening. So, yeah, the whole point of Cardio Miracle, the major point of it, is to lower blood pressure.
okay. Because I ended up on a I guess is it a statin that they give you for cholesterol?
Yeah, let me just change the wording there. Tom, you didn't end up on a statin. The doctor pushes it because they make a lot of money and you accepted it.
Well, yeah, I've never had, my cholesterol has always been perfect my whole life.
Well, no, it hasn't.
And then they did
No, it hasn't.
They did a scan. Well, that's what they said. Anyway, they did a scan on my
calcium scan,
the vein on the back of your head.
Yeah.
Anyway, he said that I have it's starting to get smaller in there.
Correct. You have blockage.
And he said you'll have to take this cholesterol medication.
Yeah, but
I said, well, I've never had high cholesterol. Why would I have to do that then all of a sudden?
So
anyway, he said sometimes that just happens.
No, see, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Don't tell me it just happens. If you can't explain to me why something happened, then I'm not going to listen to your advice about how to fix it. Because if you don't know how it happened, how can you possibly know how to fix it? So I want to go back and correct a couple of things. I want to go back and correct some things. You said my cholesterol has always been perfect. I don't even know what the hell that would mean. Who gets to define what perfect cholesterol is? Well, they being the medical community have gotten this all wrong, so I wouldn't listen to anything they say. If your cholesterol was so perfect all this time, why do you have the calcium blockage now?
Right, that's what I asked.
Well, first off, we don't want low cholesterol. You said my cholesterol's always been low. That's a problem.
Well, the bad was low and
there is no such thing as bad and good cholesterol. There's three things we measure in cholesterol: HDL, LDL, and triglycerides. The body produces all of them. Why would our body produce something that's bad?
I don't know.
It doesn't.
Well, because they say because of the way you eat.
Correct, but the way they want you to eat is going to make it worse. The statin is not going to do anything. If you want cholesterol should not be low. There's the first problem. They believe it should be low. I'm the opposite. It should be high. The higher your cholesterol is, the longer you're going to live.
Right.
So when
Well,
you
it's
eat the
taking that, I
proper
started getting
human,
heart perforations. So then they put me on some kind of thing that get rid of the heart perforations now too.
palpitations.
Palpitations, yeah.
Okay, so AFib, did they use that word?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so, Tom, this is how the medical system works. They will find a symptom and give you a drug. That's exactly what they've been doing. They told you should be on a statin because your cholesterol needed fixed. But prior to that, they told you your cholesterol is fine. Now you have blockage. Now you've got AFib, and they've got another drug for that. This will be the rest of your life. You stick with that system. You'll have another symptom 6 months from now, and they'll give you another drug. Eventually, you're going to have high blood sugar, so they'll put you on diabetic medications. You'll, if you don't have high blood pressure already, you will, and they'll put you on a high blood pressure medication.
Yeah, I've been on high blood pressure medicine forever.
Yeah. It's not fixing
about
anything,
15,
is it?
20 years.
How come we have to take a drug for 20 years, but it doesn't fix anything?
Well, I guess because I won't lose any weight.
Well, you're never going to lose any weight on the standard American diet with a bunch of drugs.
Right. Well, I try to do the carnivore and the meat and cheese, but then I have a very bad handicap. I have a hard time getting away from milk, and milk is that's my crutch.
Okay, so either
So
just
it ends up grenading everything.
decide that you're not going to do that, or if you don't think that's going to work for you, can you find a good source of raw milk?
Oh yeah, I can get raw milk all day long.
Then you should. If you're going to consume dairy, consume raw dairy.
Right.
And then that won't be a problem. Raw dairy will not sidetrack your weight loss or your health at all.
Even consuming too much of it.
You won't consume too much of it. When you say milk sidetracks you, explain. Give me the scenario. What are you drinking or consuming? What dairy are you consuming, and what type of dairy is it?
Whole milk, cheese, basically the dairy that I consume.
Then just get raw. It's much, much better for you, and you can't overdo it. You won't over consume good raw dairy.
I mean, because I'll sit there and drink 2 or 3 12-ounce cups of milk.
Well, stop. That's not good for you. No, really. Really, just stop. If you want to be healthy, I mean, that's just the reality of it. We have to stop putting things down our pie hole that aren't good for us. And 3 to 4 glasses of traditional dairy is not good for you.
Yeah, right. Well, I'll change back to the because I was drinking the regular milk before.
Yeah, that'll cause all kinds of
just
problems.
got away from it.
Yeah. But this is all about everything I'm hearing from you right now is this is just diet. This is why I don't recommend a lot of supplements in the beginning. I want to help people get through the diet part of it because that's what fixes all of this. The supplements are just that, supplemental to the diet. The diet is the real key. All right, we are going to wrap this up. This is the last show of this week. Coming up, let me see what we got going on. We do have coaching tomorrow. No show tomorrow or Friday, but we do have coaching. I'm going to do the group coaching on Thursday, tomorrow. And tomorrow is health. I will do health and any leftovers we might have after health. Aaron's also going to be joining us. And Aaron will be there to answer any of your profit gauges questions as well. So we will see you if you're in the coaching program. It's not too late to sign up, by the way. You can sign up for coaching anytime you want. and you could be on the coaching call tomorrow. So I'll look forward to seeing you there. Be safe, be profitable, be fit and healthy. Always do the hard work and master the journey.